What?
Flying a spaceship is certainly not easy. What may be even harder, though, is understanding the complexities of a human mind. Have you ever wondered why your loved ones act the way they do? Well, I certainly have, and for me personally, understanding their attachment styles really helped to navigate better and improve the quality of my friendships. According to attachment theory, a baby of 8 months old has already developed one of the 4 attachment styles, either secure, anxious preoccupied, dismissive avoidant, or fearful avoidant. Now let's plunge deeper in this world of attachment style. Attachment is an emotional bond that a baby develops in the first 8 months to his primary caregiver. The caregiver plays a very crucial role in establishing how secure the child will feel throughout his life. Child's security is established when the primary caregiver consistently meets child's emotional needs. They're always available and always there for their child. Therefore, a child feels safe and secure to explore the world around them because they have a safe base to come back to. Such a child, when he grows up, develops a positive image of himself and learns to trust people around him. He generally expects the best of everyone. That's why he feels safe and secure in his relationships. On the other hand, the child whose needs have not been consistently met develops a sense of insecurity about himself. In this age, a child is too young to understand that it is not his fault that he's not taken care of. He thinks that he is the reason for his parents' dissatisfaction, which is carried into adulthood. Such an adult generally anticipates rejection and is fearful in his relationships. Studies suggest that children with insecure attachment style are more likely to develop health problems, depression, or engage in criminal activities. Attachment theory suggests that there are 3 types of insecure attachment. The first one is anxious preoccupied. Such attachment style develops when the primary caregiver is inconsistently attuned to his child's needs. They are sometimes there and sometimes not. In this situation, the caregiver often seeks emotional comfort in their child, while at the same time failing to understand when the child needs them. As a result of this, child develops a belief that something is inherently wrong with him and he needs to do something extra in order to meet his emotional needs. For example, make some drama, cry louder, hold on tighter to his mother, or act especially nice and sweet in order to attract her attention. Often such an adult develops a relatively unstable self-esteem and thereby seek reassurance in their friends, relatives, and loved ones. And if they don't receive this constant reassurance in their relationships, they tend to get really anxious and distressed. Therefore, in order to avoid such intense anxiety, they become excessively dependent on their partners and friends. They may dramatically overreact to the slightest indication of separation, and this may sometimes drive their friends and partners crazy. Other attachment styles find this behavior unreasonable, and this may sometimes lead to rejection. Another category of insecure attachment styles is called avoidant. There are 2 types of avoidant attachment styles. One is fearful avoidant, and another is dismissive avoidant. A child develops dismissive avoidant attachment style when his primary caregiver completely denies him his emotional needs, either purposefully or unintentionally. For example, they may not comfort them when they're sad, or act especially rejecting when the child is upset or hurt. These kinds of parents seem to be very detached from their children emotionally, and they completely fail to understand their child's emotional needs. Some parents do actually believe in parenting techniques that involve desensitizing your child in order to make him stronger. And indeed, a child in this situation learns to deal with his own emotional needs by suppressing them. He learns that showing to his parents that he is hurt or upset is bad, therefore he doesn't show it. But studies show that such a child with avoidant attachment style still feels separation from his parents, as shown by his heart rate. He learns that being vulnerable means rejection and frustration. Therefore, he learns to hate being vulnerable, and he avoids being vulnerable in front of his loved ones. Such a child becomes very much emotionally independent. When he grows up, He still does crave for love and deep connection, but since in his experience, emotional connection means frustration and rejection, therefore, he subconsciously is afraid of it and he avoids it. Such a person finds emotional intimacy displeasing and unreliable, and they act extremely self-sufficient. They may act warm and highly emotional superficially, but when they get too close, they start pulling away and withdrawing. They often act cold and distant because that is what they're used to. They heavily rely on self-soothing activities. They often superficially have high self-esteem, but still, a lot of insecurities inside. And the third insecure attachment style is the fearful avoidant. This attachment style develops when the child remains in the state of constant fear and anxiety throughout his childhood, up until 8-month-old. This happens when the child's caretaker frequently frightens their child, whether intentionally or unintentionally. For example, this may happen to a parent who is very depressed or mentally ill, or a caretaker who is especially violent and punishing when they see their child cry. Just like dismissive avoidant, fearful avoidant learns to suppress his emotional needs because he learns that being vulnerable means being in anxiety or being frightened. That's why such a child learns to avoid expressing their negative emotions because that would cause them more anxiety. They also become hypervigilant for threat cues and generally subconsciously expect their close relationships to somehow go wrong. When they grow up, they really crave for deep connection, but associated with fear and anxiety, and therefore avoid being too close to people. This subconscious fear and anxiety may cause them to reject their relationships entirely when they get too close. A lot of the times, these people don't even realize what is going on with them and why they're acting in this way, sabotaging their own relationship. Just like dismissive avoidant, they also act extremely self-sufficient and heavily rely on self-soothing activities. But unlike dismissive avoidant, they generally have fairly negative image of their own selves. Out of the 3 insecure attachment styles, fearful avoidant is probably the most complicated one, because it involves a lot of anxiety, not being able to meet your emotional needs, as well as fairly negative image of themselves. Oftentimes, this attachment style develops when a child grows up in an abusive family. However, it may also happen when a parent is severely depressed or simply ignorant about their child's emotional needs. Now, a person's attachment style is rather a spectrum, so this may strongly apply to you, or it may just slightly apply to you. In any ways, if you discover you have any of these insecure attachment styles, what may be helpful is being kind and compassionate to your own self, as well as maybe writing a coherent narrative to make sense of your own childhood experience. Another thing that may be helpful is studying your own negative emotions and learning to embrace them. The key here is to become the observer and just to watch how they pass through you without judging or suppressing them. Many experts in the field of psychology claim that learning to communicate your needs is the key to improving your relationships. And this would apply to all the attachment styles as well, because each attachment style has unique emotional needs that the others may not understand. Therefore, clearly communicating your needs to your partners and close friends may happen to be a solution to many of your conflicts. And a few other things that may help you is learning to identify negative thought patterns and replacing them with positive ones, not jumping to conclusions, and giving your friends and loved ones benefit of the doubt. Try convincing yourself that they love you, even if it may sometimes seem like they don't. Your subconsciousness tells you that you're not loved, but seeing that it is just a pattern of negative thoughts in your life, tell yourself boldly that you are loved and lovable, simply for who you are. And finally, I would like to share with you one wisdom quote. So here it is. From illusion, lead me to reality. From darkness, lead me to light. From death, lead me to immortality. Let there be peace. Peace out, guys. I hope you liked this video or found it helpful. And if you would like to see more similar videos, please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!